I've done a couple videos talking about how there are going to be some guardrails in place with the Trump administration, especially when it comes to power coming out of congressional Republicans or congressional politicians in general. And one of the things Donald Trump and his incoming administration are mad about is they are holding Senate leadership talks in the coming weeks, and they are going to try to figure out who's going to be majority leader. It will not be Mitch McConnell. And one of the things Donald Trump wants out of the incoming majority leader is for him to, the new majority leader, to allow for recess appointments. And recess appointments are basically a thing from the founding of the country when they created the Constitution, where it took, weeks to get anywhere, and to travel, and they had, long trips, and they were gone for months at a time because of their home life. That whenever Senate is not in session and you need somebody appointed to a position that required Senate confirmation, basically the president can appoint their pick and they serve until Congress makes, or until the Senate makes the approval, basically. Well, after the George W. Bush administration, how they get around this is the Senate never goes on recess. They are never considered in recess. They are only ever out for 3 days at a time. And what happens is one senator stays behind, and both parties do this. One senator stays behind, gavels in, says, hey, if there are no objections, we're done. We'll be back in 3 days. And that's how they stay gone for weeks and weeks at a time. They're never on recess. Now, to officially go on recess, it would require approval of both chambers of Congress. And we also know that there could be an issue with thin majorities, if at all, for Republicans in the House. Democrats may come back and take the House. We don't know that yet. And any recess thing could also be filibustered by the Democrats in the Senate. So they may not change this either way. But Donald Trump wants the ability to appoint somebody when Congress isn't in session so he can get his picks through, which tells me he wants to try to push people through that Congress would object to. And the Congress isn't going to change their ways. Supreme Court has already said they can do these pro forma sessions. That's their right. That's their power. And they're not going to change that. I don't see them allowing recess appointments because that yields power to the president that they would want to keep for themselves. Now, if he does appoint somebody via a recess appointment, it is, Congress still has to approve them later, but they have up till like the following calendar year to do it. So they have, if he does it early enough in the term, it could be a year and a half to 2 full years that person is acting in that position, waiting for congressional approval. But they have the position unless it's denied by the Senate. So it seems like Trump is going to want to try to get around the Senate, and I just don't see the Senate agreeing with doing recess appointments because it yields power away from Congress. And as I've said numerous times, politicians don't like yielding power at all.